name is Jocelyn Watson, and this is my speech on culture.
Dylan Dewey.
Scott Watson.
Sue Watson.
Hunter Brown.
Logan Newbold.
Brandon Coombs.
Eskimos traveled to Alaska over 6,000 years ago. Due to their different environment and cultural adaptations, they were divided into different bands of Eskimos. The Yupik Eskimos migrated to Alaska over 4,000 years ago by crossing the rivers in Siberia. They lived south of the Seward Peninsula, along the Bering Sea coast, and in the deltas of the Yukon River. Their ability to survive based on location and season, the importance of their family, and the beliefs of their culture through celebrations held within the village are the main points that this culture highlights with importance. Eskimos had a unique way of survival and living. They migrated to the inland portion of the Seward Peninsula during the winter months. According to Jim Reedon's article on Yupik Eskimos believe that their legend was a great raven. They believe that the great raven carved the rivers with its talons for them to use, live near, and fish from. Typical villages had 7 houses and a community home where the males lived. They made materials for hunting and fishing, as well as clothing and shelter materials. In William DeRouse's novel, Siberian Yupik Eskimo, he puts into context what the word igloo really meant to Yupik Eskimos. When we hear the word igloo, we think of a dome-shaped hut made out of ice. The Yupiks define igloos as a space where someone may live, no matter what material it's made out of. Because there weren't a lot of materials available for building an igloo, the Yupiks built their homes underground to get warmth. Each home included central heating from a fire and a sectional for sitting. Women and children only lived in the homes. All men lived in a community home. When male children were of age, they would move into the community house with their father and the other males of the village. They would learn how to make what was necessary for their family to survive. Their source of food depended on the season. In the summer and winter, their main source of food was salmon. Reedon states that all 5 species of salmon were found in Alaskan waters. They also hunted blackfish and whitefish. They would set fish traps that were made in the community homes underneath the river ice. In the spring and fall, they hunted birds and ducks. They would also travel to the mountains to hunt larger animals such as caribou, moose, and sheep. They would use bows and arrows for this, made in the community home as well. William DeRouse's novel explains the way of traveling during the year. The common travel during the winter and summer was on the river. Eskimos would travel upriver using canoes. These canoes were small and covered in birch bark. Only one person would fit in each canoe, and they would use a single-bladed paddle. When the river was frozen, they would use flatbed sleds. These sleds were constructed from driftwood and were fit with ivory runners. Each sled was pulled by hand, and the Eskimos would use snowshoes that were also made in the community homes. According to an article called The Fascinating Facts of Eskimos, author Polly Paluzzi states that the importance of family within this culture was extremely strong. The families would work together for food, clothing, and shelter. The men taught the boys in the community house and made the items necessary to support their families. Women taught their daughters how to support a family from the home. Parents also arranged marriages. The beliefs of culture through celebrations, as Reedon explains in his article, would state how the villages would get together throughout a year and have different celebrations. For example, in December, the Yupiks celebrated a festival called the Bladder Festival. According to Reedon, people would gather and entertain the spirits of animals that they had killed during the previous year for food and materials. Men and dancers would carve wood to make masks that resembled the different animals. These masks were then painted with mineral pigments of colors including red, blue, green, black, and white. The masks were supposed to expel evil spirits and also ward off misfortune. But the main reason for the masks was to honor the animals that were killed for food, shelter, and clothes. Women were not allowed to wear face masks, but wore finger masks. These finger masks were small wood discs decorated with feathers. The women also had intricate tattoo markings on their faces. These markings included parallel lines and concentric circles. The young girls had story knives. They would sketch pictures in the ground while talking and also tell stories of moral tales or family history. In summary, I've covered the key points about the Yupik Eskimos culture through celebrations, the importance of family and survival during the different times of the year. The Yupik Eskimos lived off the land, hunted and gathered their own food, water and clothing materials, and made do of their lives with basic necessities.